Good day, viewers and listeners. I am your host, Big Law, Lawrence Johnson, and welcome to the Locked On Virginia Cavaliers podcast, the first place to come to get your Wahoo fix every day as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at the linkedin.com/locked on college. Terms and conditions apply. Well, everybody, the date is 12/6/2022. It is officially hump day. Wednesday, if you can get by this day, you get closer to the weekend. Of course, Locked On Virginia. We're at it here at Locked On, going strong. And speaking of strong, I will, continue to speak about, what happened as far as, with the tragedy and some information on giving you guys an update on the situation as well. When things come up a little bit more frequently as far as the information on the case, because now that we have the young men have been laid to rest. Now we're getting to the legal parts of what is going on. So I'll keep you guys up to date to that, with that. But as we are locked on Virginia, we do have some transfer portal information to share with you. Wow. How about UVA has 8 players currently in the transfer portal? That's just day one. Now, don't get upset with me, everybody, because I'm just reporting the news or I'm going to say this. I cannot blame any of these young men who want to leave the University of Virginia. Now, I know some alumni will not like what I'm saying, but for their well-being, this is their time to get out and leave. If we're worried about more than just we're worried about the people, the young men and ladies who have given themselves, or given themselves an opportunity to be at the school, but since this tragedy, they need to distance themselves to continue healing. We need to give that to them, allow them to have that without any scrutiny, without any hard feelings, without any of that, just because it's the right thing to do. And I always say people grieve differently. People get through tragedies a different way, all different types of ways. Some people are private grievers like myself. Some people are public grievers. Some people, want to do a lot of outreach. They want to do more connectivity with other people. But, you know, however they get through a tragedy, no one needs to criticize anyone about that. So this is just the beginning. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time from some of the rumblings that I'm hearing, some of the rumors, and some of the confirmed information. It's just the beginning, and it's not going to be nice for the University of Virginia coming up here pretty soon. I'm just letting you guys know. Don't be but so upset. It was already kind of a rebuild anyway, but based off of how the season was going, based off of how the locker room was going, but I think it's with the tragedy, you throw that on top of all of it, which is the worst thing ever. I really can't fault any of these young people from trying to restructure, trying to retool their lives based off of what happened and what's been going on. So this is what I can say, guys. This is what I can say. If you're a Virginia supporter through and through, let's just be just that, a Virginia supporter through and through. So let's talk about the transfer portal. Of course, There's 8 players that are in the transfer portal from the University of Virginia. And one of them is the quarterback, which we knew that. Brennan put his name in the hat to be transferred pretty quickly. And, I can't blame him for putting his name in quickly. But before I get into the next 8, how about we talk about the most important position on the field in the ACC? There are officially 6 names that are in the starting quarterbacks that are in the transfer portal right now, or have been in the transfer portal just day one. Devin Leary, North Carolina State, accomplished passer, can put up big numbers, had a lot of big expectations at the University of North Carolina State. He's in there. Also, Phil Jerkovich played at Notre Dame, then went to Boston College. His name is in the transfer portal. And I do believe lately here, just in the day, he's committed to University of Pittsburgh because Caden Slovis, who was a quarterback this past year at Pittsburgh, has transferred out as well. So that's another ACC quarterback transferred out. Not to mention Jeff Sims, incredible dual threat quarterback from Georgia Tech. He's left as well. Not sure where he's going. Super talented guy there. Then, of course, we already talked about Brennan Armstrong being the 5th quarterback. And then the 6th quarterback is DJ Ugalele from Clemson. And I'm just going to call him DJU for short. And he's in the transfer portal as well. And he's interesting because he was with Tony Elliott. Tony Elliott was with him at Clemson in his freshman season last year. Now, will DJU sniff around University of Virginia? Will he talk to Coach Elliott? Will he have a talk with Coach Elliott to see if he's interested in becoming the next quarterback at University of Virginia? There will be no competition. I'll tell you that right now, because right now, as I see it, Jay Wolford, who is the backup, has been the backup for Brennan Armstrong these last couple of years, is a baseball star in the making. Okay? He played, he was a setup pitcher last year. He is going to be the closer this year, I believe. And the spring game, which I'm actually worried about the spring game. I'm not sure how they're going to field the team. Unless they drop off 20 players from the Martian ship and just drop them right on the field and say, you guys are now UVA football players, 20 plus players, actually we probably need a little more than that. I'm not sure. And I mean, we got to hit it. It's just kind of tough right now. We need to hit the transfer portal really hard. I mean, harder than anybody else ever has. And then also, we need somehow some young players to convert to the University of Virginia. And I don't know how we can get that done as well. So this is a big, huge conundrum that the University of Virginia is in right now, the football program, trying to navigate through the tragedy. And then, okay, you got to get ready for a football season and get ready for your spring football game and practice. Remember, spring football is just 3 months away. They start practicing late February, early March. We're already getting into mid-December. So what is that? Mid-December, January, February. So like 2.5 months. Right. 2.5 months. We got to have a complete team with backups, with budding youngsters, and maybe budding stars who want to move up on the depth chart. We got to have established vets, who could go out and play. I don't know. Like I said, don't shoot the messenger. Don't be mad at me. I'm just trying to lay it out so that we're not shocked come spring season, come next football season when we're truly missing a lot of players and there's a shortage of talent. But like I said, I think that we're going to be missing. If we don't get like a couple quarterbacks from the transfer portal, I don't see Wolford playing in the spring. So I think that he's going to have a big role on the baseball team. It's a World Series, in my opinion, a World Series worthy baseball program. So we got some heart to hearts that have to happen with each other, and understand that this is a complete rebuild that Coach Tony Elliott is going through. And if you're not here to support him, you're gonna have to get off the train right now, because it's gonna be a long train, and to respectability than we from where we were. So just take it easy, guys. Let's see where this takes us. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Then you can add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easier to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus the competition. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today. For your second listen today, check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with the local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app or wherever you get your podcasts. So yes, everyone, as we continue on speaking about this transfer portal thing, officially, unofficially, college free agency, we have 8 guys out there that have played for University of Virginia. And I told you guys before, I cannot blame them for wanting to distance themselves from the program for a ton of reasons, all different types of reasons. But let me give you the names. Of course, we already know about a couple guys who are big contributors who will not be here. We're talking about Fentrell Cypress. Anthony Johnson. Before I get to Fentrell, Anthony Johnson, who's going pro, who's run out of eligibility. Also, the same for Billy Kemp. 2 players who played a lot at the University of Virginia. Of course, Anthony Johnson was first team All ACC at cornerback. Billy Kemp had a terrible year this year, but before this year was one of the top pass catchers in the ACC out of that slot position, but just had a lot of injuries to deal with. And we'll root for Billy as he goes to the next level. Also, Keaton Thompson, out of eligibility as well. We'll test his chops in the pros. He could have went last year. He's 6'5", super athletic, hard to tackle. He could have came out last year, but he came back. He had a pretty decent year here, his last year, but Keaton Thompson is out. So we're losing those guys just because of eligibility reasons. Now let's get to the transfer portal. We're talking Fentrell Cypress. A really good cornerback. One of the top cornerbacks in the nation. I want to say he's top 10 by Football Focus as far as his coverage skills, as far as completion rate against him. Cornerback, he's a junior, going to be a senior. He may have 2 years of eligibility left with the COVID year. So Fentrell Cypress is out there in the portal. Mike Green, linebacker, got some run on the field. Was a special teams player. Zach Tedder, guard for the team, also played some and will be in the transfer portal now. I think he's from Florida. Maybe he's going to go back down south. But you hate to lose any of these players who have had some playing time. And all these players I'm about to tell you, outside of one, has had a lot of playing time or had some playing time. Then naturally, Brennan Armstrong. He's been in the portal from day or hour one almost. Lee Dudley, long snapper. He's in the transfer portal. Then we got Chase Chalmers. Chase Chalmers is out. He's a safety, and he had played special teams. Did a good job of playing that. Then we have Sean Moore, wide receiver, who played for Dontavian Wicks when Dontavian was injured. So he's had some time. And then, of course, backup quarterback Mark Wagner, who really hadn't gotten the game. But it's a quarterback. As of right now, when we're losing quarterbacks left and right, we need our quarterbacks, guys. But Mark Wagner leaving, and like I said, can't blame him. And we'll see how this roster continues to deteriorate. But they need to hit the transfer portal hard. And I'm talking like it's never been hit before. Because as of right now, the spring game, I don't know how they're going to conduct it. First of all, from an emotional standpoint, trying to, put yourself together in about 2.5 months. And I know you have to, it's what you get paid to do. It's your job, as a coaching staff to get the boys ready to play for the spring and then to the fall. But, I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. And Wahoo Nation, guys, we got some tough times coming. I just got to lay it out there like it is. We got some tough times coming. And, I would not want the job that Coach Elliott has and that staff has right now trying to recruit. Because right now we're in the middle of recruiting as well. Trying to recruit players to come to University of Virginia based off of the tragedy. Inside, you're feeling that and you're like, please come to the school, and then of course, they're maybe worried about their safety. That's just a human, a human reaction, a human feeling, when you worry about your safety, and I can't blame them. So trying to get somebody to commit is definitely it'll be difficult, man. I just don't feel I just don't have a good feeling. And then, of course, recruiting was not all that great as well. We're ranked, 14 teams we got, and we're ranked 13 or something of that nature. We're second to last, and we're like the rankings of the recruiting classes that are coming in for next year. It's definitely a scary situation for us at University of Virginia. We need a savior. We need a hero. I'm just going to say it right now. I usually don't say stuff like this, but University of Virginia football, we need a hero. We need someone that we're not expecting to come out of the blue and help save this program. We are struggling all the way around on all fronts right now, and it's not even close. Quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, I don't know, man. And I think Grant Mish as well graduated. So, yeah, even tight end. We're hurting all the way around on the offensive side of the ball. Running back, some news on that. I'll keep you guys up to date on that. We're losing Ronnie Walker. Mike Hollins He's got a long road before he even comes back. Who says Mike even wants to deal with, coming back as well? So, man, where do we go from here? So all positions on the offense. Then, of course, the defense, you lose your top corners. You lose, the players who we lost. Man. But have hope. We'll see what happens in this transfer portal. This transfer portal can be fruitful. Virginia has done well. Remember, Bryce Perkins came from the transfer portal. Kurt Benkert came from the transfer portal. We had guys that just transferred in and had instant success at the quarterback position. And we just need to continue. Anthony Johnson came from the transfer portal. So let's see how this goes and how it works out for us, guys. So that's it on day one of the transfer portal. I just had to give you some realism. You probably didn't want to hear it. You probably didn't like it, but I had to put it out there. So let's talk about something more exciting, something more happy, okay? Something more of a happy situation. Men's basketball. We got a game tonight. And not only that, it's a juicy game. It's a game that we get to play that revenge is a word that you typically don't really throw around when you talk about Tony Bennett. But I think there is a little bit of a revenge game. Just for the simple fact that the way that the JMU fan base, student section, whatever you want to call it, disrespected our coach, Tony Bennett. If you do recall, if you can remember, we lost that game, sure. Now, we're not, above taking it on the chin. We've gotten our asses kicked before, and we've come back and done well. We remember, we're the team that was the first team and only team, a number one seed to lose to a 16 seed in the NCAA. So we've been embarrassed before, and we've taken one of the worst L's that you can take in college basketball. But the disrespect by the JMU fan base and student section for yelling F you Tony to Tony Bennett last year. Do you remember, fan base? Do you remember UVA fans and supporters, listeners, and fans? Do you remember them disrespecting Tony Bennett, who has never said, as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen it, I've never heard it in the press and in the media, him say a disrespectful word out of his mouth. And I was appalled, to be honest. I couldn't believe it. I was like, he's just a good coach. He's just a great coach. And you guys are saying, he hasn't said anything negative about people. You don't see him say negative things to people. And they were just yelling the F you Tony chant, later in the game. And I said, what is going on here? And I just couldn't believe it. So Tony Bennett is going to play the high road. That's who he is. He's going to take it high, y'all. Take it higher. But us as fans, okay, us as supporters, listeners, we can keep it in the mud with them. Okay? This is going to be, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to be, we want to destroy this team. Now, keep in mind, this is a really good JMU team, a really good mid-major. They actually lead the nation in scoring at 93.3 points a game, and they're out of the Sun Belt, which is, can be a tough mid-major program, league. But they got these points against, Valley Forge and Colonial Coastal Georgia. They got 100 points, over 100 points on both of these squads. But this does not excuse them, because they got some dues that they're going to have to pay when they come to the JPJ tonight. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. All eyes are going to be on this game. This game right here, I think, is something that I think administration has, they won't say it. They're going to keep it behind. They're going to keep it under wraps. They're not going to let it out, because Virginia typically is a classy school. They really will go by the wayside as far as being more classy. But let's let's make sure that we can check this out, guys, because it's gonna be really interesting. BetOnline, your number one source for sports betting info, stats, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from football to baseball to basketball to soccer and esports. We've got it all at BetOnline. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find them at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. But as I was saying, JMU 7-2, okay, and uh, a team where they're going to give us a hard time. I will tell you that. They will. They can score. They can shoot the three. Which teams that can shoot deep and shoot the three has always given UVA a little bit of an issue. But we should really capitalize on this against this team based off of our talent and skill sets. And not to mention being extra motivated from the way they treated our beloved Tony Bennett. So I can tell you, everyone, this is going to be a good one. 8 o'clock tip off ESPN. Make sure you get there. And then we have a break. We have exam break. And then next Saturday, they get past this game. They win. They're still number 3. Then we got Houston coming to town, the number 1 team in the nation. I talked with some guys in the media, and I got to throw this out there to you fans. When was the last time we had a non-conference number 1 team come to the JPJ? Or even come to Charlottesville, period. Non-conference number 1. Early season, come to the JPJ. I don't know. Maybe y'all can help me with some of that. But a lot to continue to talk about. Or, as I said, we're into day 2 of the transfer portal. Let's see what else shakes out. Let's see who leaves, who comes, and we'll keep that going. Big game tonight against the Dukes of James Madison. And like I said, I think it's there's an underlying hatred going on, between the programs. And like I said, Tony Bennett and the crew, Jason Williford and the crew, they're going to play it classy, take the high road, but we know what was said. So thank you guys for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today. For your second listen today, check out Locked On Sports Today for the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports. Go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with Locked On experts only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on the app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.